But y'all stay tuned. There's going to be some good stuff coming up for 2015. I have a good feeling about it. Actually, I really don't have a good feeling about it, but I'm trying to be optimistic. Folks, it appears that my feelings were correct. Folks, I'm sad to bring you this unwelcoming update on the boat. Remember last time I took it out, I did not start the motor. Well, I started it, but I turned it right off because I had noticed some smoke was coming from under here. And I thought maybe when I did my water pump that I had gotten the exhaust tube out of whack. Well, as I came home after my electric motor fishing trip, I took the cowling off and I started the engine to see if I could see where maybe the smoke was coming from. And I noticed this. What you're looking at here is a picture of the front of the engine, which faces towards the boat itself, and that is the lower carburetor, and it hooks to the block. And if you look right where it hooks to the block, right below that, you'll see JB Weld or some other kind of epoxy. When I noticed that, I got very upset, and I got to looking a little closer, and I see black paint on the carburetor. See that black paint that's left on there? There's still some of the paint left. Most of it's come off now because of probably heat and gasoline, but there's still some of the evidence of the black paint in this picture that you can see where somebody tried to conceal the JB Weld so it would be black and look just like the engine block. Also, look at the nut or bolt, whatever you want to call it, that holds the carburetor on, and you can see right there on that top corner there is a fresh wrench mark. Okay, take the picture down. Now folks, knowing this, I don't want to start the engine. I do not feel comfortable running this engine knowing that it has had a hole in the block where somebody slung a rod or something, because it's right in line. That hole is right in line with the lower piston rod, right below the lower bearing. So I believe this motor was blown up at one time and a hole was put in the block, and instead of buying a new casing, they just put freaking JB Weld over the hole. And when I bought this engine, I was told that it was a good engine. There was nothing wrong with it except it needed a water tube, and it needed to be ordered. They was having trouble finding it, and I'm kind of suspicious now if all this was true or not, or were they were just, you know, trying to buy time so that JB Weld could dry. I was told that this was not their motor, that this was a customer's motor, that they were selling it for him. Okay, well, I went back up there the other day. Folks, I am going to the place where I bought my boat motor after I found out about this. And I didn't want to let on to them that I had found it, because I'm very suspicious that they already knew, just by the things that they've told me and the things that I've found and the things that they've done. So this is what happened. I went back up there the other day to ask for a receipt for my taxes, which I really do need. I truthfully do need a receipt so I can do my taxes, because I'm going to write this boat off as a business expense because I am using it in the video production business. What was I told? I can't give you one. We didn't sell you that boat. I mean, we didn't sell you that motor. That came from a customer of ours. I say, okay, well, let me have his contact information. I need him to make me a receipt. And what was I told? He has left the country, not to come back. Oh, ain't that convenient? It's February. I bought the motor from you in December, and conveniently, the guy has already left the country. He sold his motor, got his money for it, and left the country. Now, I'm not that stupid. Okay, I believe in coincidences, but they don't happen all the time. Very rarely do they happen all the time. But you know what does happen all the time? I trust people, because I'm that kind of a person. I'm a good-hearted person, and I trust people, and I give them the benefit of the doubt until they give me reason not to. Well, let's move on along to see what else happens. I was told they couldn't give me a receipt. They wouldn't give me the guy's number, wouldn't give me his name, no way to contact him, and they went on to tell me to create my own receipt.
Somebody else's name in there,
Have your mom write somebody's name. That's the only thing you can do.
They wanted me to commit fraud and told me to have my mother write a receipt and sign somebody else's name. Just anybody, just make up a name. And we had a conversation about what if they audit me and what they see that there's a boat being put on a tax thing as a business expense, this and that and this and that. And the whole thing was recorded by cell phone. If I'm sure that they noticed the way I was holding my phone, my iPhone's camera was pointing right at them and recorded all of that conversation. So if I have to later on, I can use that footage of them, you know, telling me to break the law and you commit fraud while doing my taxes. I mean, to me, that's fraud. And I think that what has happened to me is possibly fraud. I believe they sold me an engine that they represented the engine incorrectly. I believe they knew it was screwed up. They knew there was a patch. That's why they put me off about ordering this tube. And these are professional people now. These are professional people that do this for a living every day. When I got this back, when I was called to come pick it up, I couldn't run it. Okay? There was no fuel coupler on my gas line. All right? That's another thing that put me off from running it. When I got my fuel coupler put on there, I went to start it up and I want to hear my new engine, you know, and it wouldn't run right. It wouldn't stay running. So I called them up and I was like, I'm going to have to come down and get y'all to show me how to run this, because they assured me that they took it out in the bay and it hauls tail. It's a fast boat. And at this point I'm thinking, how did they run it? They must have had their own fuel tank and their own coupler. I guess that's possible. But when I told them I needed to bring it back, I was put off again. We're going to be out of town in the woods hunting for the weekend. Okay. So I'm put off again. All this time I'm being put off is giving that damn JB Weld more time to dry and a cure to the engine, like, you know, it's supposed to, I guess. It's not actually supposed to be on this type of an... JB Weld ain't meant to go on an outboard motor. Would you take that out in the bay or anywhere that you might get stranded when that JB Weld fails? I'm not trusting it. I will never start that engine again unless it's only for legal purposes to document the leak where that JB Weld is not holding, okay, because there is a leak there. Well, as I'm being put off and I'm waiting for them to come back from their hunting trip so I can bring it to them to show me how to run it, I decide to change my fuel filter like they suggested. When I did, I noticed that the linkage from the shifter cable, or the throttle cable, to the carburetor wasn't even hooked up. That's why it wasn't running right. How could they have drove that sucker through the bay and tested it and all that when the throttle to the carburetor wasn't even hooked up? I don't know. Maybe I just really don't. I can't answer these questions. But I've really been done wrong, folks. You know, I bought this boat, and about 2 months later, and they know all the story about it, how I bought this boat, and 2 months later, the engine that was on there is failing. So I take it to them, and instead of trying to go into that motor and see what was going on, they suggested to me to buy a newer motor has more horsepower. And they said it was a good motor. They said, I mean, you know, I said, you know, is it a good motor? Yeah, it's a good motor. It just needs a water tube replaced. Well, that's what I was told. I guess, folks, don't trust nobody. And if you're going to buy something like this, please check it out. Don't do what I did and trust a company that you thought was a reputable company. It will bite you in the ass. Now, I think they know. I already think they know what's going on, and that's why they're telling me the guy's out of town, not want to give me a phone number, because there's no guy. There is no guy, okay? There's no guy that left the country. They appear to be pretty shady, okay? Now, I'm going to present them with this information, the pictures, and they're probably going to see this video And I want them to see all of your comments below too on what your thoughts are on what's happened to me. When they called me, I'll tell you this, when they called me to come get the boat, the price that they gave me, I told her, I said, I got to ask if I could borrow some money. So I did. I borrowed some money. I got all the money I had in the bank. Then I took and I had to borrow some extra money from my mother to pick up my boat. And they knew that this broke me. I paid every dime I had, I put into this boat with dreams of this summer and making great videos for you guys. That dream has been killed. And I'm not going to divulge the name of the company or who did this to me. I'm going to present them with this information that I have found on this engine and see what their reaction is. If they want to make it right, or if they want to continue to claim that it came from a customer and he left the country. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But whatever happens with that, that depends on what I do next, and whether I use the footage, the cell phone footage I have of them telling me to lie on my taxes and shit that, and just in general bullshit, you know. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna add something else. It's in the other video, on the cell phone video. I was told we have this bass boat out here that we're selling for another customer that just died. Really? Ain't that convenient? You've got another thing for sale for a customer that nobody can get in touch with if something happens. I really hope that this company takes care of me well. If they don't, you will hear about it. You'll know their name, and so will everybody else on rednecksgonewild.com. Thanks for watching, folks, and give me a thumbs up. I damn sure need a thumbs up right now because I've been so depressed over this whole situation. I've been about ready to cry. I haven't you've noticed a difference in my videos, that I haven't really been making the videos and giving you the content, and just you can tell. I'm sure y'all can tell something ain't right with me, and that's it. That's what ain't right with me right there. I've been screwed. I've been fucked. And at this point, I don't have the money to repair it. I don't have the money for another motor. I don't want any donations. Okay, I don't want anybody to jump on the damn troll wagon and think that I'm sitting here begging for money. I'm not. I do not want anybody else's money. I want my boat company, I want my marine mechanics that I trusted to, what do I want them to do? I want them to restore the trust that I had at the beginning of my relationship with them, because right now my trust is pretty much gone. I hope you do the right thing when you see this video, and I hope we can continue a great relationship. If not, good luck. Good luck with your business. Folks, let me add to this video a bunch of clips from when I first found this problem and started documenting it. I will add that, and I also talked to a mechanic on the phone for quite a while, and he said I could go ahead and use the footage of the conversation. That may be in here also. If it's not, it will be in a further update. But I would love, especially the people in the Fort Walton Beach, Navarre, Niceville, Crestview, Destin area, to please throw your comments down below and let me know your thoughts on this, and because those are the people in the area that this is going to affect, that this company could totally affect, you know. Put your comments down below and check out these clips from when I found out what was going on. Thanks for watching.
What the hell is that? What the hell am I looking at? Carburetor's right up above it. Carburetor's right above that thing. That carburetor goes in. And there's this fucking gold thing below it. I don't know what the hell that gold thing is. Where's that crap I'm looking at right there?